Okay, here's where we left off. We had the STL file up in a viewer. We've checked it to make sure that we don't have any intersections that are going to keep different parts from moving against each other. And we're generally happy with the way this is, and we're ready to print it. Now we've already talked about in the narrative how to actually use the F6 command in OpenSCAD to compile our model and then export it to an STL file. Usually an STL file for a project like this is about 20 megabytes, 25 maybe. So the best thing to do if you're going to send this off is zip it up. Use any zip program. You'll get that down to about 2 or 3 megabytes. And then email it to your service bureau, or if you're fortunate enough to have your own 3D printer, go ahead and load it into your printer, plan out the print job, and 5 to 10 hours later you'll have your hand. So let's take a quick look. I used a service bureau from Tulsa, Oklahoma called Engitech. Thanks, Tim, for all the help. The guys over there really know their stuff, and they helped out tremendously. So here's the reveal. There you have the thumb as it printed out and arrived by FedEx days ago. You'll notice there's our pin joint joining the tip of the thumb with the first segment, and there's our little T-joint attachment. This is the segment that includes even the little tabs. I'm not sure if we can get a good focus there, but you can see the retaining tabs. When that inserts into the sphere joint, it'll snap right in place and should hold tight. We've got our wire vias all the way around, even the tip of the thumb, and that's going to come in handy when we want to try things like attaching sensors, tendons, springs, nitinol, super elastic nitinol wire if we want to use that for the spring back mechanism. And let's go all the way back to the original. There's our tracing of my hand and all the measurements that we made. And in general, we've got a pretty good rendering of the thumb and the first 2 fingers, the index and middle finger. I'll be printing the ring finger and the pinky and the rest of the palm hopefully later next week. But let's pick this one. Now the only difference here is the T-joint that snaps into the rest of the palm is a little shorter, but you can see that the gap that we left, that 0.3 millimeter gap, worked out really nicely. And these things were printed, they came out of the printer as a single piece. There was no assembly that we needed to do here. Tim over at Engitech tells me that he basically took it out of the printer and washed out the support material, dried it off, and that's how it came out of the Objet printer. So what we're going to do in just a minute is actually try and thread some tendon. Now I've tried a few things unsuccessfully, and I'm about to try something that a local hobby shop suggested. First thing I tried was enamel wire or speaker wire, and threaded it through the wire vias and around the knuckles, and it turned out it's just really too stiff. Any metal is going to tend to hold that shape and not flex very well, not act as a really good tendon. The next thing I had nearby, just to, and it's a little hard to pick up here, dental floss. You'll recognize that. Very lightweight, relatively strong, and pliable. It would work, and did work a little bit as a tendon, but I just don't think that that's going to hold up to the forces that I want to use on this hand. So here's what my guy at the local hobby shop in the mall suggested. He said, go look in the fishing section at the local Gander Mountain and look for spider wire. This is not spider wire brand, but it's Suffix 832. It's an 8-stranded polyethylene filament, and this particular one is 80 pound. It's rated, as it says here, 80 pounds. 20 pound monofilament equivalent. And that 832, 8 braided fibers, 32 winds per inch. And this stuff, I think, is going to do the trick. Now that's maybe a little too fine to see on camera, but you can see it's actually 8 tiny threads woven together, and that's going to be a really, really strong tendon. So we're going to cut a segment of that and run it through the vias here right up close to the joint, so that we can get the best torque and the most amount of angle as we pull on those. And so that's pretty much gotten us to the end of this part of the project, and that is taking it from the original paper and pen concept, getting it all the way through to the STL file. Let's see if I can bring this back up on screen real quick for us. Through OpenSCAD, compiling that down to an OpenSTL file, sending it off to a print bureau, and getting back the finished pieces. So we'll take maybe one more segment, and I'll show you the filament threaded through here, and we'll actually see this opening and closing, and that's it for now.